Last week I announced that I launched my first coloring book, but actually this is the first time that I'm holding the first copy in my hands and that I'm actually going to color in it. And because my friends at WOOMER were kind enough to sponsor this video and send me a beautiful box of their coloring pencils, today I get to show you my process for making my coloring pages and my thoughts behind creating this book. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Paula. I'm a full-time artist. And if you're not new, welcome back. Let me show you how I created this book. Well, I filmed that intro over a month ago, and I gotta tell you, now watching the footage and doing the voiceover, I'm back to that incredibly high level of excitement for owning these coloring pencils now. I've never owned a coloring box this big with so many colors looking beautiful in there, and just seeing it fills me with joy. I think it's everyone's dream to open a box with so many colors and know they are yours to play with. I just love them. The colors make me happy. But before me telling you more about them, let's go back even further, about 3 months ago when I recorded this, and let me show you how this coloring book journey started for me. Here's a sketchbook you haven't seen because it's the one I got exclusively to work on the illustrations of my book. But in all honesty, I got it about 3 months after I started working on my coloring book, when I had scratched the first intention of creating a more interactive book made entirely digitally. I got the sketchbook because I was feeling disconnected with the process of drawing this book. It wasn't feeling authentic, and that is when I decided to write out the list of little things I was grateful for and create my book based on that. So you'll be able to see that on the sketchbook I have an item of the list written on the opposite page on the top right corner, and then I drew the corresponding illustration on the other side of the spread. And when I was in the middle of doing all of these illustrations, it occurred to me that maybe I should record her to show you the process of creating my book. So I was on the 27th item of the list, which was ice cream. And I didn't do these in order, that's just the day this occurred to me. It is almost ridiculous how much I like ice cream. I am so grateful for this cold confection. I just love it so much. It needed to be there in my gratitude lists. You know, it's one of those things accessible to almost everyone, and it fills me with so much joy. To represent it, I thought I would go back to my splatter little dudes that I love to draw so much. I've drawn them before in a couple of videos, as pins where I did my favorite snacks, and on a Create This Book video where I had to design a menu for an ice cream place and made them as more ice cream. For the book, I decided I will revisit the banana split idea. I don't eat banana split as much these days, but it was my lifetime favorite dessert, kind of like tiramisu. Those are my two favorite, complete desserts. My to-go sweet is dark chocolate, and of course I adore having it as ice cream. And like I said, I don't eat banana splits that much now that I'm in my 40s because I'm 40-year-old metabolism. But I do like putting sliced banana in my chocolate ice cream. A lot of times because I do eat chocolate ice cream often, but just a single serving of half a pint. I know some people are gonna cringe about that banana, but I love it, so back to the drawing. I drew my basic shape for my banana split with all of the toppings, and then I started to turn them into the floppy creatures I like, adding ears and eyes and noses to all of them. My idea with these creatures is that they're supposed to be unidentified cuteness, like they could be bears, they could be cats, they could be rodents. But by now my book has been in the wild for a couple of weeks and most people see them as cats, so maybe they are just floppy melting cats and that's it. Now, if you're used to my other sketchbook videos, you will see that on this one I'm not as clean and methodical, and that is because this sketchbook serves a different purpose to me. And like I've said many times, your sketchbook practice can be anything you want or need it to be. I work differently on all of the sketchbooks that I have going at the same time. On this one, it's more about getting the idea down, so I'm not particularly clean with my line work. I'm going with inspiration and creating a base sketch because I know once I'm done, I'll take a picture of each one, just a quick snapshot with my phone, and then I'll take it into Procreate to do the line work and have a digital version of a clean drawing. So that was my sketchbook in which I created all of the illustrations for the book, and to be honest, I'm still working on that one because I have more and new ideas, but that's another story. Here comes Procreate. I have a folder with all of the illustrations for the book, and here is the ice cream. And I'm going to show you the replay because Procreate records everything you do. And the interesting thing about this is you're going to see how I started my book and the direction it had. Here I have these 3 little bunnies that I made a while back and I really, really love. They are in the book still, but my first idea was to do a pattern with them because I had an idea on how to use the pages for stickers. But like I said, this was back when I was doing all of my book in Procreate. So I just used the same page, deleted all of the layers with the bunnies, and inserted my ice cream drawing so I could trace it. And the playback speed from Procreate makes it look like it was so fast and easy, but actually tracing each image was the longest part. It's really, really time consuming as you make sure everything works out. You need the line width to work and the lines to join neatly. It's a lot of time spent in details. But after all, you have the satisfaction to see all of your drawings printed out and neatly bound in a beautiful book. My level of excitement was ridiculous when I received my copy. I feel I learned a lot creating the book, and I definitely want to try to make another one. I actually have an idea for a new coloring book, so if you want the tea, be sure to follow me on Instagram. That's where I spill my secrets. And I'll talk about that there because I want to get your feedback for the second one. But for today, here's my beautiful coloring page. And it was actually supposed to be the first page I colored in the book, but I got excited as soon as I opened it and I colored a cloud from a page. It was nighttime, so I didn't record that first bit. You can see a sliver of it in the back. I'm 5. I get way too excited about these things. So finally, I get to use my beautiful new pencils. At the beginning, I started to swatch them on the side before using them, but that process actually stopped after the 3rd color because I'm not big on swatching, and I quickly realized the color of the barrels was so close to the actual color, I did not need to swatch at all. The one thing I did do is sharpen them further before each use because I've discovered it's easier for me to color with a crazy sharp point. The pointier, the better. So right off the bat, I was so excited that these coloring pencils didn't feel strange to me. Let me explain that. The only other color pencils I own is a small set of Prismacolors, and for whatever reason, I've never actually tried art with other colored pencils, so I'm used to them and they are pretty soft. And let me tell you, these are very soft too. Maybe soft is not the word for it, but creamy. I don't know, they slide easily on the page and that's what they do. Like my kids have other brands and I feel they feel scratchy on the paper and you can't layer them softly. Or if you put them to the paper too softly, you don't get any pigment, and if you go harder, it feels kind of ugh. I know, I use such technical terms. But you know, my channel is not a review channel. It's a I'm playing with this today channel, and I'll let you know how much I enjoy it or not. My book is just regular Amazon coloring paper, so I was happy the pencils were sliding and that as I color in the way I like it, with very soft layers first, I was getting pigment throughout. One thing I definitely want to point out is that I loved that even though I use varied amounts of pressure as I color and I keep sharpening the pencils constantly to get the effect I want, none of the tips of the coloring pencils broke at all. I don't know how important this is to someone else, but when I've done coloring, especially extensively, like I remember when I did my collab for the Create This Book 3, I did a whole background with coloring pencils. The one thing that was pissing me off and made me have various artistic tantrums where I was just straight up cursing the pencils was the fact that I broke my tips so many times when I sharpened them or when I changed the pressure for blending colors. This was so annoying. I felt like I was wasting my pencils doing this as they broke and I had to sharpen them again. So this pencils did not break at all, and that made me happy. Not once for the whole page. Because of the channel and the coloring series I created, and me discovering I love coloring as an adult, I definitely have to say I'm getting better and even a little bit addicted to coloring. Now with my book, I'm trying to be more creative about it and trying new things and really enjoying the process. But still, every time a new page pops up on my Instagram account with a coloring page from my book done by someone else, I'm so excited about it. It fills me with joy. It's literally one of the little things I'm grateful for every day now. I'm so grateful for each page that you color and share with me. Thank you. I was always thinking of ways in which we could collaborate more, and I think this is kind of it. I don't know. While I was coloring my page, I also noticed that when I drew it, I wanted to go full on banana split with it. I mean, not full on crazy like the desserts that have popped up in the last years, where you have like a donut hanging from the side and a piece of cake just stacked on top, you know, like really, who eats that? No. I'm talking about just having all the normal toppings on, many different type of drizzles, maybe some nuts, cream, and wafers. And because I had so much on, I was grateful the pencils actually blend and that I had so many colors to choose from. Like for instance, when I colored the whipped cream, I was lost, so I got a reference picture, and when I really looked at it, I noticed that it's grays blending into yellows, and the color pencil set had the perfect tone of gray and yellow, which was like, yay! Made it easier to start. And also, maybe you can see the first strokes I made on the first layer were thick and rash. I, for some reason, did not start soft, and still I was able to blend it. I used a beige color on top, and it just smoothed everything and made it work. That was nice, but now to some bad news. As I was coloring the raspberry sauce, I noticed I forgot to trace the little face on this dude, the face it had on the original sketch, so I'm so sorry I made this mistake. I hope you can see it as an opportunity to add the expression you prefer to the little guy, who has a cherry-shaped creature on top that's showing us its butt. Like I said, so many things on top of the ice cream, even more chocolate between the banana and the ice cream at the bottom for some reason. I went crazy drawing it, so I was happy that I could mix different types of brown and all of the chocolate bits look like chocolate, but with different colors. For the bowl, I decided to go with purple because purple is the color of my channel, and like you may have heard me say before, it's an accidental choice. I just had to go with purple because I was buying cardstock to use for the background of thumbnails and videos, and the place where I went only had a few colors available, and from those, purple was the nicest. So yeah, purple it is. For the background, I wanted to be a bit creative, trying to do something a little bit more ice cream parlory. So I drew some lines with the pencils to have a striped background using two different colors. And again, here you're going to see me blend them in the shadowy areas, and I think it looks great. It looks smooth. I don't know. I don't think I'm the best with color pencils. I don't have that much practice or technique, so I think the result was pretty amazing. I really enjoyed the coloring pencils. I'm super amazed about the amount of colors and quality you get for the price, and I know a lot of people want to start with coloring pencils, their coloring journey, and I would really recommend these for that. I want to paint more pages in my book with these, so if you have the book already, you can suggest in the comments which page you like me to do with them. Oh, and just to show you how good they are, at one point I thought about covering the line work of the cream and making it lighter, and the pencil did great. I just regretted that choice later and went back over it with black, but hey, it's a possibility. To add highlights, I used an acrylic paint marker, and when I did the highlights on top of the raspberry sauce, the marker picked up some of the red pigment, so that shows you how pigmented the colors are. I had to clean the tip of the paint marker before changing colors because, yeah, all of the color was getting picked up. Okay, with that, I finished my page, and that brings us to the end. Here's my original sketch that I digitalized into my own coloring book, and this is the first final page of my book that it's fully colored. Yay! I did set the page with some spray varnish just because I don't want that pigment to get on the back of the other page. And yeah. Oh, right when I was finishing, I noticed that the sleeve that was around the color pencils is actually a color chart for you to swatch in. But like I said, I'm not creating a swatch card for these because thankfully I don't feel I need it, and I love that. Okay, that's it from me today. I'm going to share the link for these color pencils in the description, of course. They are so yummy. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that because of that, I'll see you next week with our regular video on Friday, and maybe a surprise video will pop up in the middle of the week. I truly hope you're having the most wonderful day. Bye!